Nowhere in racing is there more history and tradition than at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 1 yard of bricks is all that remains of the original 2.5-mile surface, but it's the destination of every driver. In its 6-year history, the PPG Trophy has been won by only 4 drivers. This 91-year-old facility demands preparation, skill, luck, and perhaps most of all, respect. In a few moments, we'll begin the search for this year's Brickyard 400 winner at the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where thousands have gathered for the 7th annual running of the Brickyard 400 on Saturday. We're standing by for the beginning of Bud Pole qualifying, which will not only determine the best qualifiers, but also the pole sitter for Saturday's race.
Although Daytona's 500 may be the richest and Darlington's the oldest, in just 6 years, this one, the Brickyard 400, has taken its rightful place among NASCAR's Winston Cup elite in terms of pressure, pride, and purse. Now, in terms of prestige, I mean, what better way than a driver to say, hey, I won at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? In terms of purse, try $6.5 million on for size. In terms of pressure, well, these 49 cars and drivers that are about to line up here and qualify will get just 1 lap, just over 50 seconds to try to make it into the top 25 for today's field in first round Bud Pole qualifying. And if you're wondering what that lap is worth, try $80,655. That's what it will pay just to start here on Saturday.
Speeds in practice today were fast, and I mean record-breaking fast. Under cloud cover for most of the 2.5-hour practice session, 21 drivers broke Jeff Gordon's 1-year-old qualifying mark of 50.108 seconds. That's a little over 179.6 miles an hour. Now, granted, some of those 21 guys might have gotten a toe around this 2.5-mile oval, but along with a little help from the weather, it's the track, the tires, the motor technology, and team secrets that aren't so secret anymore that have times down and speeds up. And the 2 fastest drivers in practice today, Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Qualifying is critical because track position at Indy is so valuable. But for 5 weekly competitors, any position in the top 36 will be invaluable because they are not eligible for a provisional this weekend. So Darrell Waltrip, Kyle Petty, Jeffrey Bodine, Mike Bliss, and Hut Strickland all must make the field with their qualifying speed or they will miss this great race and its big check. Now, here are 3 guys that always take home the big check. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and Ray Evernham.
Thank you very much, Bill. Well, weather sometimes is a factor here in Indianapolis. Now, last night we had rain. None of that today. But those speeds that Bill mentioned were under a heavy cloud cover this morning. Right now, however, Benny, the sun is popping through.
Oh, man, what a tough break these guys caught. This morning, 2.5 hours practice session, as you said. Heavy cloud cover, cool temperatures. As the cars finished practice, the sun started peeking through the clouds. Now it's going to be a totally different racetrack than they ran on this morning.
Not only that, Benny, at most places we go to, if you draw a late number in qualifying, it's good because the track temperatures are down, speeds are up. Here at Indy, an early number is good because the longer the sun is on the track, the temperature's up, speeds come down.
You can see the incredible number of people that have gathered here for this Brickyard 400. The first qualifier scheduled on the racetrack is rookie contender Matt Kenseth, who, as a matter of fact, is the leading rookie in terms of points. And he, of course, is trying to make his very first Brickyard 400. He practiced only 35th fastest today, turning in a speed of right around 178.2 miles an hour. The green flag waves, and our first qualifier is on his way.
That 35th best time in practice, very unlike Matt Kenseth. Ray, you see how wide he exits those corners? You would think that you'd want to keep the car down just a little bit more. Maybe it's just the chassis set up. Maybe that's one reason that he was 35th best. Watch when he goes down the corner. You'd think he'd want to hug that white line a little bit more, but he abruptly goes up the racetrack. Is that the reason?
Well, Benny, the 2 ends of this racetrack are actually a little bit different, and this track is very, very intimidating to a rookie. And as you know, we only run here once a year. Matt's probably only tested here once, so probably the more laps he gets on Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the faster he'll be.
Crosses the yard of bricks, the checkered flag, and Kenseth becomes our first qualifier. His speed is 177.655, a lap of 50.660. 49 have driven for an attempt to qualify, so we've just begun. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Only qualifier so far at 177.655, and on the racetrack right now, attempting to make his 5th Brickyard 400 is Dave Marcus. Last year here at Indianapolis, Dave started in the 29th position and finished in 40th spot. He did lead a lap. This is the Realtree Chevrolet. There you see Matt Kenseth as the only qualifier, and that number up there in the box will indicate how Marcus is running, or the car on the track, in comparison to the current pole sitter.
Wow. Marcus evidently had some very serious problem around the racetrack. As you see his time, 154.493, 58.255 seconds. I mean, folks, that's about 8 seconds slower than he practiced, so obviously had some serious problem somewhere on the track.
Jerry Punch is with Matt Kenseth.
Our leading Robestas Rookie of the Year candidate, Matt Kenseth, ran a 50.660. Matt, a little bit slower than what you'd run in practice, a 50.5.
Yeah, that's not going to be too good, Jerry. We have been struggling in qualifying trim here with the DeWalt Ford the whole time we've been here, and never, I guess, really did figure it out. That's, you know, last 2 laps we made qualifying, and that one in practice is the best we've done, but I don't think that's going to be nearly good enough to get us in the top 25.
Your thoughts on qualifying here for the first time coming here? All these thousands of people on both sides of the racetrack waving and screaming as you go by. Pretty special place, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It'd be easier to be in a good mood if we run a little faster, but it's just, you know, it is a special place, and it's really neat to come here to Indy, but when you're out there doing your job, it's the same as anywhere. So we just, we need to get, you know, figure out how to get this car to work a little bit better, and, you know, figure out the things I need to go fast so we can have a good run here on Saturday.
All right, it's Matt Kenseth. Let's check in down with Bill Weber.
And Bobby Labonte is the Winston Cup point leader, scheduled to go out 11th here this morning, 7th in the practice session. That lap came late in the practice session. A good lap for you in practice. How about now?
Oh, that was okay. You know, we, you know, pretty comfortable with it at the time. Track temperature's gone up a little bit since then, of course, so we'll see what we got.
You guys worked this morning to make the car better because it wasn't to your liking early in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it just was a little bit too tight, so we, you know, tried our best to free it up, and we got it pretty close there at the end. So maybe this will come to us if we don't go too far.
Success for you last season at Pocono. This is a similar track, Bobby. I know you want to get back in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, and we ran good here last 2 years. So, you know, looking forward to Saturday's race. A fun race to race, a fun racetrack to race on when you have a good car. So hopefully we can accomplish a lot and get our car working really good so we can have fun on Saturday.
Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Bobby Labonte, as we enter this Brickyard 400 in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, is the points leader by 53 over Dale Jarrett. Third place, Dale Earnhardt trails Jarrett by 54 points. 5 of the top 10 separated by 50 points or less, so indeed a very good points battle going on in the Winston Cup Series in the year 2000. Next qualifier is Kenny Wallace.
And Kenny Wallace was 37th best in the 2.5-hour practice session that concluded about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. Goes in turn 3. And he abruptly also comes off the corner against the outside retaining wall. So I guess they're answering my question. That is the groove these drivers have found. That is the best way around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, Benny, I think they need to keep the car free to gain good speed down the straightaway, and maybe that's the best way for both of those guys. Their car was the freest, maybe bringing it up a little bit higher than keeping it down lower.
As long as that number up there in the white box is in the minus category, it means that he is running faster than the pole sitter. And we don't have the time and speed coming in right now yet for Kenny Wallace. He has competed in 5 previous Brickyard 400s. He started 41st last year and ended up in 39th position. We are still waiting on the time and speed report for Kenny Wallace. While we do that, let's find out what happened to Dave Marcus, Doc.
Well, Dave, considerably slower than what you had practiced, but obviously the track is changing pretty quickly here, as it's wont to do even in the month of May here with the sun coming out. What happened to you?
Well, I got a little bit loose over in turn 2, and I had to, you know, I had to drive the car a little harder through there and then wiggled the car around. That probably hurt. And sun was out beating pretty hard when I qualified, but now we've got another cloud again, so it'll probably turn back around. But this track is very temperamental, just a little bit of sun, and it'll slow it right down.
How much did you give up? You think you give up maybe a half a second by getting a little high over there and getting loose?
I probably did. I mean, we practiced at a 50-77, I think, and we were hoping we could get the thing down to a 50-40, so we give away 4 or 5 tenths probably.
Dave Marcus became the oldest driver to ever lead a lap at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here last year in the Brickyard 400, Bob, at the age of 58.
And now we get the report on Kenny Wallace. He is fastest of the 3 that we have had qualify, 50.171 seconds. That's a 179.493, or rather 386 for Kenny Wallace. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we're qualifying for Saturday's Brickyard 400. And the most recent qualifier was Wally Dallenbach, who has turned in the second fastest speed so far, 178.731. 50.355 seconds. So Kenny Wallace right now remains as the provisional pole sitter with 4 qualified. Well, one of America's most enduring corporate images, the Goodyear blimp floating overhead, providing an aerial view of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Spirit of Goodyear is one of 7 airships in the Goodyear blimp fleet. We welcome them and all the race fans who have gathered here for this speed spectacle, the 7th annual Brickyard 400. Jerry's with Kenny Wallace.
Well, Kenny Herman Wallace, 50.171. You're the first car to go out and actually pick up time from what you've practiced. You guys obviously found something from practice.
Well, you know, first of all, you know, the Square D Cooper Lighting car was, you know, we weren't right in practice. We had a left front spring collapse on us, and we lost all the rate. We didn't know what was going on. We were like a second off. Car was driving bad. We got all that fixed. We've been playing catch-up. But, you know, Doctor, my excuse is going to be I qualified in the sun. So when they start out qualifying me, that's it. All good race car drivers have excuses. So my excuse right now at Indy is I qualified in the heat, the sun. I was slipping, sliding, smoking the right rear. I was out of control. So we'll take that time.
Well, what if it stays, hey, Jerry, ask you what if it stays sunny the rest of the time?
What if it stays sunny the rest of the time now, if anyone wants to know?
Well, then I'll whoop up on them. But, you know, Elliott's going to get me right now. It's 20 degrees out here. Shades on. All the crew, I know my brother Rusty's going, Polanski, look at her. Make sure the clouds are out there. Everybody's going to be looking for clouds, man. I caught the sun. Bad draw.
Okay, that's Kenny Wallace. Now, how about a guy qualified pretty well here last year, Michael Waltrip? He's standing by with Bill Weber.
And Michael Waltrip has been in the news lately. New car owner, big plans for the future, but your immediate concern right now qualifying here, how is your race car?
Well, it's pretty good. I've gotten the first and second turns down really well in my simulated qualifying run, and then in 3 and 4 it pushed. So we adjusted it. I think it's got speed in it. I believe we can get up there pretty good if I can just get all 4 corners down when we go to qualify.
You are trying a different look as far as helmets are concerned this weekend.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt always says the open-faced helmet's safer, that there's less mass, less weight on your head, and in case of a bad wreck, you don't throw that big helmet all around. So, I don't know. I've just always wanted to try it, and so I'm giving it a whirl and see what I think about it. But as far as the plans for 2001, with our team, Jim Smith's really done a nice job of bringing this team up another level, and I'm real proud to have an ally on that end, and Nation's Rent's back for next year and all of our associates, and so we're just excited about the rest of this year and next year as well.
Good luck. Thanks. Okay, and Kenny Wallace was right. Elliott beat him.
Yes, he did. Elliott is on the provisional pole with a lap of 180.440, so already, BP, the track record has been broken.
Yes, track record 179.6 has been shattered by Elliott.
And Tony Stewart will be the next qualifier, and he was not all that hot in practice, was he?
Boy, he has really been struggling. Talked to Greg Ziccardelli down a few minutes ago, and close to that wall. And he said, we're just struggling trying to find the setup.
Tony started 11th, finished 7th here last year in his only Brickyard 400 appearance. But, of course, he has many laps of experience on this racetrack in the Indy 500. Jerry's with Wally Dallenbach.
Wally, 50.355 seconds. Good lap for a new race car and maybe a new beginning for this team. I know you guys are excited about the second half of the year.
Yeah, we hope so. This is the first car that we built. And we struggled a little bit with it. The car feels really good, but we did about 6 things to loosen it up. And we loosened it up a little bit too much. That's about as loose as I want to be around here. So hopefully that'll just get us in the show, and we'll race our way toward the front.
Okay, Wally Dallenbach solidly and right now with that lap.
Tony Stewart was supposed to drive in the USAC Coors Light Silver Bull division last night at Indianapolis Raceway Park. However, that event was rained out. Let's see what he did here as far as qualifying for the Brickyard 400 is concerned. And he clocks in third quick with a 50.195, 179.301 for Tony Stewart. So right now, Bill Elliott remains on the provisional pole, 6 of qualified for this year's Brickyard. We'll be right back. The Bud Pole qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Saturday's Brickyard 400. Most recent to qualify, having just taken the checkered flag, Joe Nemechek, who turns in a rather disappointing time and speed, BP.
He will be crushed with this speed of 50.448, 178.402. And during the GM testing, wasn't he one of the fastest cars, Jim?
If he wasn't the fastest, he was certainly one of the fastest. But that just goes to show, Benny, this is a big racetrack, and sometimes a little bit on each corner can really cost you a lot.
Right now, the fastest in official qualifying is Bill Elliott. Jerry?
And Awesome Bill turned a lap at 49.876 seconds, a new track record, Bill, and a darn good lap for you in that Ford.
Well, we picked it up from practice, and I think that's what it's all about. You know, the track's hotter, it's slicker, it's a little bit harder to get a hold of through the corners, and you're going to give a little bit up. And, you know, I wish I could have done some things differently, but, you know, when you're going through practice earlier this morning with so much cloud cover, it's hard to guess what the racetrack's going to be, you know, at 1:32, 2:30 in the afternoon. So that's the things we got to kind of guess through and fight through. And I should have made just a few more adjustments, and, you know, we'll see where we stack up. But I'm very pleased, you know, with McDonald's team. They've done a heck of a job this season, and, you know, we just hope we can finish a race this weekend versus what I've been through in the past several weeks.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bill Elliott gives us something to shoot at. Let's check in down with Bill Weber with another Bodine story. Bill?
Well, it says Terry Labonte on the car, but it is Todd Bodine subbing for the injured Terry in the car. You feel comfortable in there?
Yeah, it actually fits pretty good. A little surprising. I fit right in Terry's fire suit, too.
How many laps did you get in here today, Todd?
Well, we didn't get a whole lot. We ran 6 laps of practice, and the car's a lot better than the driver right now. It's been since '95 since I've ran around this racetrack, and still getting used to it. It's a little different. The entry speeds to the corners are a lot faster now, and it takes a little getting used to, but the car's real good. Just go out and get a decent lap. You know, don't want to get carried away. You know, I'm not going to sit on the pole, so we're just going to get a good lap.
Good luck.
Thank you.
While Todd Bodine gets strapped in the number 5 car, here's the 16 of Kevin LePage coming out for the checkered flag.
He's another car that really struggled during practice, just 45th best at 50.967, just barely under 51 seconds. Let's see if Pat Tryson and his guys have been able to find something during this hour between practice and qualifying. Not much. As a matter of fact, he's a little slower than he practiced at 51.248, 175.617 miles per hour.
Down to Jerry Punch, who's with Tony Stewart.
Well, the good news for Tony is at 50.195 second lap, Tony was quickest you've run all day. The bad news is it's still not what you would like to have had out of this brand new race car.
That's not going to be good enough to probably get in the top 25 even, unfortunately. But, you know, Bobby's getting ready to go out, and I'd say he's got a shot at the front row for sure. So, you know, we're behind for some reason. And I got here late to the track, and that put us behind about 25 minutes this morning. And, you know, it's just kind of been downhill from there. We just really haven't found a balance. So, you know, Bobby's found it a little better than we have. I don't know if I'm trying to overdrive the car, trying to go fast or what, but I want to do so well here. I'm probably doing more damage to myself than anything right now.
Now, we're accustomed to seeing Tony Stewart smile at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Very hard for him to smile here right now, considering the lap he just ran.
Well, let's see what his Joe Gibbs teammate can do. Bobby Labonte is currently on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can see by our blimp shots it is still a little bit hazy. However, at times, as has been documented by us and several of the drivers, the sun is peeking through. Here's the green flag and Bobby Labonte, whose best start here was in 1995 and also in 94, 5th. And his best finish came in 97 and 99. He ended up as the runner-up.
You see how low the front air dam is down on that car? We've talked about that this year. But a lot of guys are putting kind of a day glow, bright colored tape down there. Here in Indianapolis, they've got cameras around the speedway, so you can watch your car from inside the garage area, and that'll tell you a lot about the body attitude of it. When the air dam is that low, that's a lot of speed around here in Indianapolis. Nice and flat around the corner. Jimmy Maycar and his guys have done a good job of setting that car up.
could be the pole winner. Pole sitter so far. And he was the 7th best in practice this morning. Let's see. Time to beat right now is 49.876. That's the time of Bill Elliott.
And I hear a lot of cheers from the grandstands. They think it is, and it is the fastest so far.
49.763, 180.858 miles per hour, and that track record just gets a little faster.
Well, among those coming up, Darrell Waltrip, who, as we told you earlier, is out of provisionals. However, he was the 13th quickest during the practice. Maybe that will be his lucky number here today.
Now,
Weber and Dr. Jerry Pudge back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Michael Waltrip, our most recent qualifier. He is 3rd fastest. His time was 50.043, a 179.845 mile an hour lap. That, too, breaks the previous track record. Bill?
Well, as we have discussed, Darrell Waltrip must make this field on speed, and so far you have some speed.
Yeah, we're pretty fast. You know, I think we'll be pretty good, actually. Right now, I even no faster than they're going. I think I got a shot at being on pole for a little while. We'll see here. Had some good practice laps, and hopefully, you know, we tuned her up, and the driver will get up on the wheel, and we'll get this thing up in the show pretty good here.
You said in the garage this morning you felt pretty confident.
Well, we tested pretty decent, and then we worked on the car and got a better motor, and everything's working out for a change. You know, normally go home, work on it, come back and say what happened, but today so far so good, so hopefully we'll get a good result here in just a few minutes.
And fresh in from Owensboro, some barbecue always helps. Right?
Oh yeah, 3 days in Owensboro, and of course I won at Whitesville Sunday night in Harry Pedley's car, the 100 car, and it's a piece of cake from here on.
Well, we're determining the top 25 qualifiers today in first round, and here are the 10 who have clocked in so far, led by Bobby Labonte with a speed of 180.857. Dave Marcus is the slowest, and the provisional pole sitters with Jerry.
And our current Winston Cup points leader, 49.763 seconds, Bobby, a new track record. They were standing and cheering when you came by. Got to be pleased.
Yeah, it was a good lap for us. You know, we ran a little bit faster in practice, but the track temperature did go up a little bit. So, you know, there's still a lot of cars that beat us in practice that are liable to beat us again or beat us in qualifying. But yet, I think it's a good lap. It should get us safely in the top 10, and you know, we hope it's better than that. But you know, it just depends on what the weather does.
Pontiac has never won the Brickyard 400. You were 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd the last 3 years. People are saying this is Bobby Labonte's year to win it. How about you?
It was all in a Pontiac too, so I don't know. I mean, you know, we're real close. We got a great race setup here, so hopefully we can, you know, be there at the end and, you know, be a contender like we have been the past couple, 2-3 years. And it's a neat racetrack when you have a good race car, and these guys are going to give me a good race car. So if everything goes right, hopefully we'll be okay.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bobby Labonte on the provisional pole with a new track record.
Ken Schrader just completed his run, clocks in with the 8th best.
At 50.519, average speed was 178.151 miles per hour. So Schrader a little bit slower than he practiced today.
But the interesting statistic on him was what you just saw. He has completed the most laps and the most miles here at the Brickyard 400. 960 laps, 2,400 miles. Are normally handled by Terry Labonte, but qualified here by Todd Bodine is 6th fastest of the 12 that have taken time so far. Todd qualifies at a 50.344 seconds, 178.770. Bill?
And Bob, we just want to update everybody on Terry Labonte, who was here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway earlier this morning and did turn some laps in this car. However, crew chief Gary Dehart told me just a few minutes ago that Terry really didn't feel very well after he got out of the car, and they're still very cautious because of the concussion he suffered at Daytona. In fact, Terry Labonte has left the track. We're told he's flying home to North Carolina to be examined by his doctors there. So Todd is in the car. As Todd told us, he took a few laps this morning. It will be Todd's car until Terry gets back. His status for Saturday and the Brickyard 400, as far as Terry Labonte is concerned, is still up in the air.
And, of course, he's trying to keep that incredible streak going of consecutive starts, the longest in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. All right, on the racetrack right now is Stacy Compton in the Kodiak Ford. Stacy suffered an injury here in a testing crash on the 17th of July. Broke 2 ribs in his left wrist. And how did he do in practice this morning, BP?
He was not very good. He was 41st best.
So as he takes the green flag, we'll see how he does on this run. Meanwhile, we'll go down to Jerry Punch again.
And we told you a year ago, Michael Waltrip qualified 5th. Right now, you're 3rd, Mikey, at 50.043 seconds. Picked up almost 4/10 on the qualifying that. You must have borrowed an awfully fast helmet from Schrader.
Yeah, I got his helmet, but, you know, we've worked on this car all day, Jerry, and it's so weird how things have changed. A year ago, I know what springs I have in the car, and nowadays people are running half that. I mean, just real soft front springs, and so we come up here and try to go that direction. And Bobby Kennedy, he's a good crew chief. He works well with me, and he said, let's just put it back like it was last year. We qualified pretty good there. We hadn't run that fast yet this time, so he put her back, and I went out and run. I was just a little loose, but all in all, I was proud of that lap. The car worked well, so we're in the show, and I'm happy about that.
Michael Waltrip currently 3rd quickest. The old setup is a good setup.
Stacy Compton has qualified 10th quick. Not bad for Stacy at 50.639, 177.729 miles an hour. He becomes our 13th qualifier of the afternoon. And coming up next in the qualifying order is Darrell Waltrip. We'll show you how he does when we return. In Indianapolis, where Hut Strickland has just taken the checkered flag, trying to make his first race of 2000. He did brush the wall briefly. He's trying to make his 4th Brickyard 400. His best finish was in 1996, where he finished in 18th position. Yeah, I guess he did brush it, didn't he, BP?
Just brushed it as he came off turn 4, I believe. But he ran 50.450. Average speed 178.394 miles per hour, and that will put him in 9th of the 14 cars of the qualifier. Watch this. Comes off the corner. Oh, that right rear just slaps that wall.
You want to carry speed. You don't want to get out of the gas, and you know you're going to hit that thing. You're just hoping it's not going to hit hard enough to slow you down.
I remember a guy named Gordon that did about the same thing a few years ago here, huh?
Came off there completely sideways. Luckily, I didn't see that day.
Let's get out to Bill Weber.
Well, new colors for Johnny Benson, colors he hopes to carry for the rest of this year. And that solidifies his seat for the rest of the season, but pretty good in practice today as well as your new colors.
I'll tell you what, we're about 15th quick in practice. I just hope we can hold it there, maybe a little bit better, but real happy that Aaron's come on board. I mean, we were going to run this race either way, but then pretty much go on vacation. And so it's all right. We're, like I say, we're extremely thankful for everybody at Aaron's to come on board, and we're going to run the rest of the year. Good luck. Thank you.
What is that thing, Ray?
That is actually a new style head support on the left side. We found that we want to keep the driver's head supported, but by adding bigger supports there, we were taking some vision away from him. And I don't know what kind of seat that is that Johnny's sitting in. But what they've done is just put a little piece of aluminum there to slow his head down if he were to get up against the wall, but allow him to have the vision.
Ah, good point.
Here is Darrell Waltrip, who must make this race on speed. He cannot use a provisional. His best start here came in 1997 when he lined up on the outside of the 2nd row. His best finish was in 94 when he came home 6th.
Ray was told on the headset that Randy LaJoy made that seat that we saw in Johnny Benson's car there just a moment ago.
And as a lot of people know, Randy LaJoy is a very successful multiple champion Busch driver, so he knows a lot about what it takes to have a good, safe seat in a race car. And I know Randy's going into the seat business, and a lot of guys are now starting to switch over. Randy's seat is completely different than a traditional NASCAR seat.
Oh, DW's got a great lap going. That arrow would indicate about where we estimate he would be. Somewhere around 2nd, 4th. Can he jump it up a little bit? Oh, he did it! Oh, look at this! DW. 49.745, average speed 180.923. Oh, DW be dancing the jig when he gets that, won't he?
Ricky Shuffle will be back. That's faster than he practiced. He practiced at 180.249 and qualified at 180.923. How about that for the driver in his victory tour for the year 2000? His brother Michael among those cheering and congratulating Darrell Waltrip.
Wow.
Sounds like you need to start telling Darrell he's out of provisionals more.
Yeah, that's right. He has gotten the trick done here today.
He's the man.
Listen to the crowd and Waltrip with his hand in the air.
So evidently he had his radio on and his crew told him just how quick that lap was. Hey!
This is about as big a response during a qualifying session I can ever remember here at Indy. Darrell Waltrip has 59 pole positions, the most in the modern era. His last pole was in November of '95 at Atlanta. Will it hold up here today? We'll stay with us during the remainder of the afternoon, and we will find out. In any case, just an excellent run for ODW. Jerry?
And they continue to come over to congratulate Darrell Waltrip, trying to get unbuckled. The smile, he's smiling so wide. And listen to this, folks. Wow. And they are still screaming and cheering. We're going to back over here and try to back across. We'll bring DW taking a bow here. His final time at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So much emotion. Darrell, for years they screamed and cheered, and now they're cheering again.
Oh, man. Well, I love it. You know, I like Indy. I come here with more confidence and more enthusiasm than probably anywhere we go. And I want to perform. This is a big race. Good drivers perform in big races.
The farewell, what would it mean, DW, to roll off on the pole on Saturday and to roll into victory lane as a winner at Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I know you're not going to believe this, but I can win this race. I felt that coming up here. Robert and those guys have helped me with they've done a good job on my motors. Larry Carter, everybody's done a good job on the car, and I can win this race. I ran really good at Pocono. I didn't get the greatest finish, 22nd, but that gave me some confidence coming here because they're very similar. I like coming here. I get excited. I get pumped up, and that's a pretty good start right there.
All right, let's have you wave to this crowd, DW. They love you. Turn to this crowd and wave. Darrell Waltrip on the provisional pole with a brand new track record.
The cheering says it all. Darrell Waltrip on the provisional pole at Indy. Give me for Bud Pool qualifying for the Brickyard 400 coming up on Saturday. Well, let's recap what's happened since Darrell Waltrip did his incredible lap. Ricky Craven clocked in ninth quick, 50.351, 178.745. And then just a moment ago, Ward Burton also completed his qualifying lap, and he ended up as the sixth quickest at 50.167, a 179.401.
I believe he's going to be fifth when they shake all this stuff out, Bob.
Yep, he is. You're right. All right, we'll get back down to Jerry Punch.
Well, Stevie Waltrip just came running out a moment ago. To give Darrell a big hug. And Stevie, the tears, the joy. You guys have been through so much. You know these people loved him. But it's been a tough few years. And today they were able to show it.
That's right. We are just... I've never not believed in this man or his ability. And the last few years have been really rough. And this place represents to him all kinds of dreams and hopes and aspirations. And I don't know whether he'll stay on the pole or not. Doesn't matter. This moment is ours, and I'm excited about it.
You have been his rock. Go celebrate.
I have 31 years.
Stevie Waltrip, how about it? She came up and hugged Darrell. They had tears for each other, and she's wipes them away right now. Very emotional.
Yeah, there aren't very many times when you can capture emotion like we have in the last 5 minutes or so with Darrell Waltrip. What it means to him in his final appearance at Indianapolis to put himself, for the moment, on the pole. Here's the checkered flag coming down for Johnny Benson in the Aaron's Rents RCA Pontiac. And Hey, he's got a good lap going there. According to the computer, he clocks in fourth quick, BP.
Yes, just about 50 flat, 50.003 average speed, 179.989 miles per hour. 18 cars have qualified so far, Bob.
25 will lock in with their speed today. The others will have to decide whether staying with their speed today or participating in second round tomorrow.
See those people down there? See the shadows? That does not bode well for these guys getting ready to qualify. Like Ray Evernham talked about at the very top of the show.
Well, the Brickyard 400 coverage will continue tomorrow with second round qualifying at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. RPM tonight will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night with John Kernan. Our happy hour coverage is at 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Then race day Saturday, RPM today at 11:30. NASCAR today, a 1-hour edition with Bill Weber at noon on ESPN. You can see the Brickyard 400 on ABC at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And then at 4:30, catch the fourth and final race of this year's IROC competition, also on ABC, 4:30 Eastern Time on Saturday afternoon. But in the meantime, there is more auto racing out at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The Kroger Speed Fest rained out last night, but the Power Stroke 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series rolls at 8:30 Eastern tonight. And then the Kroger 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series at 8:30 tomorrow night. Both of those events from Indianapolis Raceway Park, located about 8 miles to the west of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. On the racetrack is Rick Mast, who was on the pole for the inaugural Brickyard 400, driving the A.J. Foyt Conseco car.
Rick was 14th, I should say 18th best in practice. Held here this morning.
Bill Weber is standing by with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who will qualify a little bit later, but he was the second quickest in practice, Bill.
That's right. The only guy that beat you in practice was your dad, but you guys were fast this morning.
Yeah, we were real comfortable. We had the Budweiser Chevrolet handling pretty good. We changed some things going back and forth, so the car was responding the way we wanted it to. I expect, I expect to be able to run somewhere within that range again, maybe a 50. I'd settle for a 60. I'm just really excited to be running this good here at the Brickyard. It's one of the tracks that I was really looking forward to this year, and glad to be competitive.
I heard you got in your dad's car during a test session here.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. He might not back me up on this, but I got in his car because we were having some difficulties with mine, and I got in his car to drive it, and he's like, get in there and see what a real race car drives like. So I ran one lap, and it was within 1,000th of his best lap. So I had Richard Childress writing a contract, but it was a lot of fun. It was pretty fun. I've done that a couple times this year. We did the same thing at Vegas, so it's always good to have bragging rights against Dad.
Okay, good luck in qualifying. Dale Earnhardt Jr., second only to his dad in practice this morning. The Earnhardt's yet to go. Right now, it's the Darrell Waltrip Show at Indy.
Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 20 have qualified so far. Most recent to do so, Elliott Sadler with a 50.350 second lap, 178.749 miles an hour. Now on the racetrack is Jeff Burton. And let's talk with his brother as he gets warmed up and ready to go. Here's Jerry.
And that would be Ward Burton. And Ward, 50.167 seconds, good enough for sixth quickest with the Caterpillar Pontiac. Better than you had practiced.
I did better than we practiced. Tommy and the guys made some last changes right there at the end of practice. We improved on it. We still need to make another couple of runs to improve on it yet, but it was definitely better than what we were practicing. So anytime you do that, you felt like you gained on it.
Sun's coming out. It's getting a little bit warmer. How was the track changing from your last few laps of practice earlier today?
It wasn't much different, to be honest with you. It was the same track to me. We just, made a few adjustments, and some was in the right direction, some we need to make some more. But before you let me say that we'll talk to Ward later, if anybody gets the pole today that deserved it and be a great farewell, it'll be Darrell Waltrip. So I hope old Mr. Darrell Waltrip get the pole at Indy today.
How about that? Another driver pulling for another driver. That's Ward Burton as he walks away. We'll see what his brother Jeff Burton did in his qualifying effort.
Ford, by the way, looking to make his 200th NASCAR Winston Cup start here this weekend. Jeff, down to 14th.
Yes, 50.358, 178.720 miles per hour. He's 14th out of the 21 cars that have qualified.
Bill Weber is with Dale Jarrett, the defending champ.
And the top 3 guys in practice were all named Dale. You were the fastest guy, wasn't named Earnhardt.
Yeah, so I'm in pretty good company there, but I'm not sure we can stay there. How about DW? Man, what a laugh that is. And if his son stays out, we're going to have a hard time even getting close to that.
And the wind's kicking up a little bit, too.
A lot of things. It's amazing. This is such a great racetrack and how smooth it is, but it's amazing how temperamental it is. With just a little bit of sun and a little bit of heat, it becomes a whole different animal. So he may be, I know he's sitting in a good spot. Just hope we can get in a pretty good lap.
So if he's on the pole, you want to be second or third when they throw the green flag here?
Oh, it doesn't matter. If we can just get in a good top 10 starting spot, I'll be happy. I know how this car races, so I'm pretty excited about Saturday.
Ooh, a sly smile from Dale Jarrett.
Let's get down to Jerry Punch.
What an emotional roller coaster it has been for Johnny Benson the past few weeks. The team was sold, JB. Then you heard you may only run one more race. That would be here. But then last week, Salvation, a new sponsor. And now, 4th quickest here at Indianapolis. What a lap. Nice lap.
It was. We thought we'd go a little bit quicker, actually. And I slipped and slid a little bit through one. I think I drove in too hard. But outside that, man, you know, being with MB2 and, of course, now getting Aaron's as a sponsor for the rest of the year is just a tremendous boost for us. You know, really got to thank, you know, Tim Beverly, too, for getting us to this point. You know, he's run all year without any money from sponsorships. And you know, so it's been a tough year for everybody on the team. But now everybody's, you know, together. And now we're with a 2-car team deal. And then, of course, Aaron's coming on board. It's great. I mean, it's good that we get to run the rest of the season.
Hey, JB, good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
Johnny Benson currently 4th quickest in qualifying thus far.
Darrell Waltrip quickest at 180.923. The year 2000 marks the 75th anniversary for the Goodyear blimp. Since 1925, millions have watched Goodyear's airships while they hover over special events like the Brickyard 400. Fine for the Brickyard 400 coming up Saturday on ABC Sports. This is Steve Park, the next to qualify. He will become our 23rd qualifier of the afternoon. Once again, Darrell Waltrip is the fastest, and Bobby Labonte is second quick. Third is Bill Elliott, and 4th is Johnny Benson. Steve Park has raced here at Indianapolis twice. His best start was in '98, 25th. His best finish was last year when he finished 15th.
I'm just not sure. I just got the impression that he missed turn 1 going down the corner. That did not get into turn 1 exactly right. He was 16th best in practice, and maybe I was wrong. Let's see, Park had a pretty good lap. He's 9th right now, 50.207, 179.258. So obviously he knew what he was doing. I didn't know what I was doing.
So Steve Park heads for the pit area. Meanwhile, it is Bobby Hamilton who will be our next qualifier, and Bobby was very quick in practice.
There has been the most unbelievable turnaround with this team in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Words can't describe. He came here and tested for the General Motors test. It was awful. The team, my understanding is they took the car, went to the wind tunnel in Detroit, and were trying to find something out. They came back to the racetrack, a private test, just this car, and tested here. And he went from being one of the slowest cars here to 6th best in practice, a chance to win the race.
Have a new crew chief on this car. Danny Gill is on board. And in the practice today, Bobby Hamilton ran a 181.170. So if he can duplicate that, Waltrip's time on the pole is over. However, as has been pointed out here in the last few minutes, not only is it sunny, but Ray, the wind is kicking up a little bit and blowing right down the backstretch.
It sure is, Bob. And that backstretch is a long run off of turn 2 to turn 3. So when you're facing that headwind, it will slow you down more than you'll gain coming on the front straightaway. And we're talking about Bobby. One of the things Bobby is as a race car driver goes, Bobby's a very, very hands-on driver. He's got a very good understanding of race car aerodynamics, and I think he has now gotten much more hands-on involved with that race team.
And Danny Gill, as Bob said, the new crew chief on the car, was his crew chief for his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series truck that Joe Ruttman drives. He worked for Bobby Hamilton, and Hamilton just basically loaned him to Larry McClure and these guys to see if they could get this Kodak team turned around. And his lap, he will be disappointed, I would think. He will end up being 15th best at 50.356, 178.727 miles per hour.
So Bobby Hamilton, 15th fastest at the moment. The next qualifier will be the 25th, and will fill the field, so to speak, and it will be Ricky Rudd, the former winner here of the Brickyard 400. That victory coming in 1997. So while he gets the Hamilton Ford up to speed, we'll tell you what you might expect when you tune into SportsCenter at 6 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. Trey Wingo and Mike Greenberg have the report about the Orlando Magic. Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill, they have made it official. Get all the details. Greg Norman missed the British Open, but he's back on tour earlier. And will Donovan McNabb heading into his second season, and some key free agent additions. All the expectations in Philadelphia are high. Get all of these stories and more on SportsCenter tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. Jerry's with Rick Mast.
And he is currently 10th quickest in the Conseco machine. And Rick, this team has really come together the last few weeks. 12th at New Hampshire, that top 10 run, 8th at Pocono. And now you're back at AJ's place where you're expected to do well.
Isn't that something here at AJ's home, right? It's, you know, we didn't qualify as good as we wanted to at the speed, but we were here with 4 cars. This car here was the slowest car in qualifying trim, but it was the fastest car in race trim. This car was like 0.3 of a second a lap quicker than the other cars in race trim. And I told the guys, I said, listen, I've sat on the pole at Indy. The money lap's the 160th lap Saturday. That's what I want to go after. And, you know, we want to do good here. I mean, Conseco, my sponsors are located here in Indy. You know, the home base here. We'll have a lot of folks from Conseco here Saturday. AJ owns Indy. You know, I love this place. And we got Darrell on top right now. You know, Jerry, Darrell has told all us guys that he used to be the man. I mean, he told us that he used to win, but maybe he used to do it. I mean, I see it now. He's got a good lap up there. I'm happy for him.
All right, that's Rick Mast and Ricky Rudd. How about Ricky Rudd's lap, guys?
Yep, it has knocked Darrell Waltrip off the pole. Rudd, fastest so far.
And he ran 49.705, 181.068 miles per hour. And he beat Darrell Waltrip by about 0.04 of a second. Ricky, man, that's almost like shooting Santa Claus. I'm telling you.
So the drama continues, and a lot more qualifiers to come, including John Andretti, and he is the focus of our spotlight.
Obviously, I have a lot of admiration for Richard Petty and Cale Yarborough, who I've driven for, and A.J. Foyt's my godfather, and then I got my uncle, my dad. Uncle Mario didn't become impressive until I got older. You know, it's Uncle Mario, you know, big deal, Indy 500. I mean, so what? There's a bunch of other guys in it, too. I know what it's like going on the road. All my buddies were kids of other drivers, and all we knew about was racing. And everybody's dad raced. Olivia's 5, Jarrett's 7, and, of course, Amelia. She's just come along. I play soccer in the backyard with my son, who's really good at soccer. And my little girl, she loves riding horses, so we go over to the stables. And even though Nancy's severely allergic to horses, now that I have another baby, and it's a girl, I told my dad, I said, well, I got out of buying another go-kart, but now I got to pay for another wedding, so I think the go-kart would have been a lot cheaper.
You can bet that his father, Aldo Andretti, is somewhere in the throng, because he has been his greatest fan and his helper all the way through his racing career. John Andretti in the Cheerios Pontiac.
And he was 11th best in the practice session today. Andretti ran. I wish these guys would get so close to that fence. They scare me every time I look up.
Benny, they say as long as you don't take the paint off to the primer, you're good.
Okay.
There you see that John is somewhere around the top 10 unofficially. The official is he is 7th.
Pretty good. He ran a little bit faster. Didn't run quite as fast as he did in practice, but again, I think all these speeds right now, it's going to be very difficult to duplicate what you ran this morning. 50.165, average speed 179.48 miles per hour.
Let's talk to the provisional pole sitter, the guy that knocked Waltrip off the pole.
And that would be the 1997 Brickyard 400 winner, Ricky Rudd. Ricky, 49.705 seconds quicker than you'd run all day long on the provisional pole. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Jerry. I don't think it's going to hold up. It's going to be somewhere maybe in the top 5, top 7. We're real pleased. We had a little motor problem there right before qualifying. They saw some oil on the spark plugs and thought maybe the motor was missing a little bit. So Doug Yates and all the guys on the Texaco team decided to put a motor in it, change the motor. Our qualifier was a little stouter than this piece, but this is awfully good. I have to hand it to them. Motor shops work awful hard, the chassis shop, all the guys in the aero shop. Todd Parrott helped us a little bit with this deal on the body. This was our backup car. We wrecked the #1 car, which we tested up here a couple of weeks ago. We destroyed it at Pocono, so we had to roll out a car that we weren't real comfortable with, so I couldn't be happier all the hours these guys put in. Gave us a good, fast car.
And an emotional moment, too, coming to Indianapolis. We are told this is the car that Kenny Irwin drove to a 15th place finish a year ago, so a lot of thoughts go out to him and his memories with this good run here in this car.
Well, it's an awfully good race car. Like I said, Kenny did an excellent job with it last year, and you know, right here in his hometown. So hopefully we can keep this thing up front and win this thing for him.
Ricky Rudd on the provisional pole.
Well, the guy who was second quickest in practice is on the racetrack, and he is doing quite well. Not quite up to pole speed, but he's way loose coming off the corner.
And that cost him. You see right now, he'd probably fit in somewhere around 3rd or 4th. What did he do? In practice, he ran faster than Ricky Rudd. But can he bring it back? Can he do it when it counts in qualifying? No. He will be 8th best at 49. 8.54, average speed 180.527 miles per hour. So right now, 27 cars, 4th best. 27 cars have qualified. Rich Bickle, the 61, has been bumped. The 16 car of Kevin LePage has been bumped. And when Dave Marcus qualified, I gave you an incorrect time. His speed was 175.785 miles per hour. He now is 25th on the bubble.
Well, the Jack Roush team looking on, Jack and Mark Martin, as they will be up to qualify before too much longer. They have interest in, as we all do, the 88 car driven by Dale Jarrett, who's next up to qualify. And Jarrett was 3rd quick in the practice earlier today. Jarrett hoping to become the first 3-time winner of the Brickyard 400. He won in '96, and he is the defending champion. And almost won that year that he ran out of fuel here at Indy.
Boy, he had an awfully fast race car that year. There's no doubt about that.
And Benny, that was a nice line going through turn 1.
Yes, it was. I think that some of these guys right now with this wind blowing down the front stretch, I think we've been seeing some cars getting in turn 1 a little bit too hard.
Carrying a little bit more speed. The car has a tendency to get loose going into turn 1 anyway.
Oh, that number there in the box is in the minus category, so that means he is faster than his teammate Rudd.
He lost a little bit, just 100th of a second. Oh, he lost a little bit off that corner. Now he's 400ths slower than Rudd.
Let's see how it all averages out. He takes the checkered flag, and Dale Jarrett completes the run. He's never been on the pole here. Best start was 2nd in '98. Oh, he's going to go down to 4th.
He still hasn't been on the pole. 49.807, 180.697 miles per hour. So Marcus has been bumped. Now Matt Kenseth on the bubble.
And the IROC race comes up tomorrow. We'll have it for you on ABC Saturday afternoon. Eddie Cheever among those that will participate in that event. 13th quickest, 50.199 seconds, a 179.286 miles an hour, and Matt Kenseth has been bumped.
And now the 9 car, Stacy Compton, the car now on the bubble.
Jerry punches with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
At the lead, 49.854 seconds, and despite the fact that you said you had a handful of race car in both ends of the racetrack, not a bad lap, 5th quickest.
Yeah, you know, we ran a lot faster than that in practice, but still, we should be really happy with that. The way the last 6 weeks have gone for us, we struggled in qualifying and in race trim, so maybe we turn things around. The Budweiser Chevrolet's driving real good, and we're the adjustments we're making on it are doing what we need, and that's always good to have a car that reacts right.
Push in turns 1 and 2, and then big time loose coming out of 4.
Yeah. That's the way the track is typically. It's tighter in 1 and 2 than it is 3 and 4. And I drove it probably too deep into turn 1 and made the car push there and missed that corner. Cost a little speed through the short chute there, but it got it back down the back straightaway and then got loose off of 4. But it's our first time here, my first time here. I probably made the car do those things myself. It's probably got a good, comfortable setup under it. I'm just out there driving it a little over my head. So we come back here a couple more times, get some more experience, drive outright car a couple times, and see if we can get better.
All right, top 10 so far, though, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. as we go down to Bill Weber.
Well, Darrell Waltrip was 13th in practice. He's currently 2nd. You were 12th. So there's a spot in front of him available there.
Yeah, Bill, both Kmart cars were running really good in practice. We tested pretty good here. And I had Darrell say, we went home and worked on them. And this year, the Kmart team's been working on our cars a lot harder, and it's really been paying off for us. And we had a really good lap going, and I made a mistake in turn 4, and I'm trying to think of how not to do that when it comes down here to countdown.
All right, good luck, Jimmy.
Thanks.
Jeremy Mayfield just completed his run.
At 4th best at 49.772 seconds, average speed 180.825 miles per hour. So Stacy Compton's been bumped. Ken Schrader is now the car on the bubble.
Here's Jerry Punch with Dale Jarrett.
DJ, the guys upstairs were talking about a great line in turn 1, a nice tight line entering a turn. All the way up to turn 3, you were underneath Ricky Rudd's time. Looked like you were going to have the pole, and I guess up in 4, you had a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, you got to make all the corners right, and that's what shows just how good a lap Ricky put up there. And things were going well, carrying a lot of speed into 4. Tried to stay out probably a little wide to really get me a good exit off of that corner to where I could really carry a lot of speed. And what it did is it never cut down to in the center, and that got me wide coming out. It made me a little bit loose there, and I just wasn't able to make the speed down the straightaway then. So that cost us a shot at it. Don't know that we would have gotten it, but we were pretty close to him. It would have been nice for us both to have been up there, but great lap by he and Darrell Waltrip both.
This car won number 2 at the Brickyard last year. Can it get number 3 on Saturday?
That's what I like about our chances. That we know what this car does. When we were here testing with race runs and things, we were very excited about the way the car just stayed. It was fast, and it stayed that way. So we know there's going to be a lot of competition here, but we like our chances.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.
Defending Brickyard 400 winner Dale Jarrett currently sits 5th in the qualifying lineup.
And on the racetrack is Scott Pruitt, who has never competed in a NASCAR race here at Indy, but he was in 4 Indianapolis 500s, but he is making his first appearance here since 1995.
And I think Scott Pruitt's another driver that got down in turn 1 just a little bit too hard. Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked about it, and it looks like that this wind blowing down the front straightaway is getting these guys going down the corner a little bit faster than they're accustomed and not able to turn it as much as they'd like to.
But what he has in his favor is his crew chief is the brother of the crew chief that set that 88 car up.
Yep.
So I would imagine that 32 car's got a good setup under it.
Looks like that Scott's got a good lap here, somewhere around 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, where it is down to 8th best.
That is a great qualifying run for Scott Pruitt in the tied car. 49.921, average speed 180.285 miles per hour. Schrader's been bumped. Now Hutch Strickland, the 90 car, is on the bubble.
And here's Bill Weber.
Well, Rusty Wallace is down here on pit road with one of the newest owners in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, talking it over with Chip Ganassi. Of course, Rusty won the last race out at Pocono. He'd like to win the next race, which is here Saturday afternoon at Indianapolis. And we'll lean in here for just a second. Who's giving advice here?
We're talking about the sun, about the clouds and all this stuff. I'm trying to get this racetrack ice cold so I can knock a good lap out right now. Hope it's listening to me.
You're an accomplished pilot. What's your forecast here for the next 10 cars?
Well, my forecast is we got about a 10-minute sucker hole right there before it gets real bright.
And you want to go before it gets real bright. How's your car?
It's great. I hope we can get to front row. It's running super right now.
And Chip, a new visitor here, but a new member of the Winston Cup fraternity.
Thanks. Good to be here, just hanging out. I was just telling Sterling, my first year here, when I qualified, the sun went behind a cloud. And the sun just went behind a cloud.
And he just rolled off on the racetrack. How's his car?
I think it's good. You know, probably could be a little better, but we're getting there.
Well, best of luck. Welcome to the NASCAR Winston Cup.
Thank you very much.
Bob?
Chip Ganassi won the Indianapolis 500 this year with Juan Montoya. There's a sky over the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and quite a bit of haze and clouds remaining in some areas, but in other areas there is here on the front stretch as Sterling comes down to take the green flag. A little bit of a shadow coming off that car.
This is the team that Chip Ganassi has bought into. He and Felix Sabates now partners with Sterling Marlin and Ted Musgrave in the Bell South car.
Let's talk with Jeremy Mayfield as we get down to Jerry.
And Jeremy climbed down on the car with a huge smile on his face. Jeremy, 49.772. Were you happy about the speed or happy just to get that lap over?
Well, happy to get it over with. You know, qualifying's tough for us, and or has been for me. And man, these guys done a great job with this Mobil team. This car's the same one we had at Pocono, qualified well with there and ran good. And the engine shop's got all kind of power right now. So everything's going good. And the only thing bad about right now is DW's on the pole. You know, we just want to see him get the pole, but man, he's right up there at the top. And my best wishes for them, that whole team over there.
All right, Dean, everybody thinking about DW. Jeremy Mayfield, pretty good qualifying lap. He is currently 4th quickest.
See what Sterling Marlin does. The 36 of Kenny Schrader has been bumped. On the bubble now is Hut Strickland, and we'll see if he got bumped off. Yes, he did, because Sterling is the 16th fastest.
At 50.200, average speed 179.283 miles per hour. Now the 33 of Joe Nemechek on the bubble.
Down to Bill Weber.
And we just talked to Chip Ganassi, and Felix Sabates is here on pit road. A visit back to the track. Welcome back.
Chip who?
Huh? Chip who? Well, as long as you brought that up, I guess I brought it up. But what exactly is the situation there for the fans, Felix?
Well, we're going to have a major announcement tomorrow night at 6:30.
Well, you can tell us now.
I don't know what the announcement is. He hasn't told me. He's the boss now. You know, I have to listen to what he tells me. But we're going to have a major announcement tomorrow night, so hopefully everybody will know by 6:35 tomorrow what we're doing.
Okay, and that's going to be here, obviously, in Indianapolis. Do you foresee yourself continuing in a big role with this race team?
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, nothing's going to change other than he's going to own the majority interest on the team, and there's going to be a name change. But other than that, you know, I'm still going to come to the racetrack. I'm still going to be involved with the race team. I'm not going anywhere. He won't let me go for 5 years anyway.
Okay. Good to see you back at the track. Good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Felix Sabates and Dale Earnhardt is among those left to qualify, and Jerry Nadeau. We'll be right back. The ARCA driver from Kentucky, the most recent to qualify. He, however, is the slowest of the 33 that have qualified so far. 51.650, 174.250. And so at the moment, Joe Nemechek remains on the bubble. And on the racetrack is Dave Blaney, another candidate for the Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year honors. However, he did race here in Indianapolis last year, started 20th and finished 28th. Jerry's with another rookie, Scott Pruitt.
Well, he ran the Indy 500 4 times. That's a pretty good memory from there. But, Scott, that qualifying lap today has to be a memory in and of itself. A great effort, 49.921, top 10 right down in qualifying.
Yeah, we're real pleased. First, say hi to my family at home. We're real pleased with the Tide Taurus. I gave up 2 turns. Turn 1, missed the marks. Turn 4, missed the marks. But turn 2 and turn 3, I was dead on. So we're happy with the run. It's exciting thinking that we still have more. And, you know, as I get some more races under my belt. And if I keep running this good, when you come to the shop the week before, you're going to start coming every week.
How about Brad Parrott? The chemistry really working with the new crew chief there for the Cal Wells operation.
It is. We're real pleased to have Brad on board. His intensity, his focus. He's meticulous on getting the car set up right. For us, it was just the last piece we needed to really start moving forward with the whole Tide team, and something we're just going to build from here to the next race to the next race, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the year.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Scott Pruitt right now 8th quickest. So let's go to Bill Weber.
Hello, Dale. How are you?
What do you think, Weber?
I think you were pretty fast this morning, but the winds come up and the sun comes out, and some of those guys have some pretty fast speeds. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the early draw was better with this constant clouds. Now we got sunshine and clouds, and the racetrack's really affected by the sun, so we'll have to see. We're going to go for it and give it all we got. That's all we can do.
That's exactly what Evernham said in the Open to our show. That guy's pretty smart, isn't he?
We just, you know, got a good race car. I feel good about it. I just, you know, I just want to go out and get a good qualifying run in, solid run. I know we're quick in practice. I like to back that up, but I don't know if that's possible in this temperature and the way it is, but I know I got to get a race car for the race, and that's what matters to me.
We'll see you Saturday.
Dale Earnhardt will be out before too much longer. Meanwhile, on the racetrack, here is the driver who is 9th in the point standings, Mark Martin.
And he was 9th best in the practice they had this morning. Although, as we've all talked about, conditions a little bit different now than they were. Got a pretty good run going right now. Our computer indicates it'd be somewhere around 6th, 7th. Lost a couple spots on that corner. Here he comes down to the line. Oh, he just wouldn't brag on you, would he, Ray?
No, he doesn't think I'm smart enough, I guess. He'll tell me about that when we get down in the garage area.
All right, where did Mark go? Down to the 9th position. 49.970, 180.108 miles per hour. So Nemechek has been bumped. Jeff Burton is now on the bubble.
And in about 7 more qualifiers, we will see this man, the Intimidator, behind the number 3 GM Goodrich Chevy for his qualifying run at Indy. Brickyard 400, 18th fastest, a lap of 50.201, 179.279 miles an hour. Jeff Burton has been bumped, and on the bubble right now is Bobby Hamilton. Well, you can get results, standings, the latest news, just about everything that you want if you visit the NASCAR website at www.nascar.com. Not only the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, but Busch and trucks and every other division of NASCAR. NASCAR online, www.nascar.com. All right, on the racetrack right now is the driver who was 4th fastest in practice. Here's Rusty Wallace coming down to take the green flag. Doesn't look like he's going to get his cloud, Ray.
Yeah, it's not quite as bright as it was just a moment ago. There is a little bit of cloud cover over the sun.
I'll tell you, one of the things here that is maybe not a good thing or not a bad thing, part of the track gets cloudy, part of the track is sunny, so the corners can be very different. I think he's going to have a little bit of a cloud down in turn 3 and 4.
It's a long way back to turns 3 and 4 from turns 1 and 2. Now there's the report. He's just a little slower than it's going to take, although he moves it up to just 0.17 of a second behind the pole sitter. He comes off corner number 4 down the straightaway. Ooh, dropping back a little more.
That was 17 thousandths. There's 80 thousandths right there. Robin Pendleton, the crew chief of the Miller Lite Ford, watches on, and looks like he lost a little bit coming off that corner. Rusty will end up in the 8th position. Average speed 180.303. The seconds 49.916.
Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
And sending with Mark Martin, who now gets shuffled back to the 10th spot. Mark, you'd run an 87 earlier today. And considering the conditions, how things have changed, a 97, not bad at all.
Well, I caught the worst sun, I think, of anybody that's run so far. We had a nice section there where it was really bright and burning, and we weren't strong anyway, so that probably really hurt us. That probably got us a 10th of 1500ths, which would have put us up close to the top 5. That's kind of the luck of the draw, you know. It's real nice right now. The sun's behind the clouds, and would have been a better time, but we weren't a contender for the pole, so I think the Valvoline team has done a good job today. We've been real solid and going to get a good starting spot here. We think we've got a great race car.
Indeed, Mark Martin, a brand new race car. He said the car is driving awfully well, which should mean a lot for him on race day.
And the green flag drops on the number 44 Hot Wheels Pontiac, driven by Kyle Petty.
Kyle struggled in the practice this morning. He was only 44th best.
By the way, Bobby Hamilton has been bumped, and now on the bubble is Wally Belichick as Kyle comes off corner number 2.
They've been going through some team changes over there. I believe Fred Rhodes is over there now and is starting to help the 44. I think that should help the performance of that car.
Kyle's best start here at Indy was in 96 from 13th, and that's his best finish. That came in 97. He's in the northwestern portion of the racetrack, coming down for the checkered flag.
You can see he's a second off from our pole sitter. And that's not good. That'll get him up to the high 51-second bracket. And as Bill Weber talked about at the very top of the show, a driver who does not have a provisional for the Brickyard 400 is Kyle Petty. There you see his speed, 50.956, 176.623 miles per hour.
So Kyle will be disappointed with that, and we'll be looking for more speed tomorrow in second round qualifying. Robbie Gordon down on pit road. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And after a couple of weeks off, Robbie Gordon returning to the Winston Cup Series. How's this car and how's your qualifying opportunity?
Well, we ran a little better when we tested here than where we're running right now, but this is a very important race for us with Menards and everybody in town. You know, this good qualifying effort would really help out the team. Taking 2 weeks off has allowed us to build inventory. We're ready for the next 4 races and really looking forward to it.
Okay, I had you 39th, I think, on the practice sheet. Will your qualifying lap hopefully be better than that?
Doesn't it have to be?
I would say it better be.
Exactly. We'll suck as much as we can out of it. You know, we haven't white-walled it or anything like that, so, you know, got to get a good lap out of it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, that's Robbie Gordon. To Jerry.
Okay, up with Rusty Wallace. Now, in Days of Thunder, Cole Trickle said loose is fast, but here in Indianapolis, loose is sideways, and that's not real fast.
Yeah, I just got too loose. I loosened it up before qualifying because it was a little too tight, and every time I kept loosening up, kept running faster and faster. If I'd have left it alone, it would have probably got to pole. It was real quick. We kept running 60s every time we went out. Right now, 70s got to pole, so live and learn, I guess.
How about on Saturday? I heard the Penske team is really poised to get one here after coming off that great win at Pocono. I know you'd love to win Indianapolis.
We're concentrating pretty hard for this race. We really are. We got good engines, good focus, and I love to win this Brickyard 400. I think we got a good shot at doing it.
All right, Rusty Wallace, a little disappointed in the qualifying lap, but he should be awfully tough come Saturday.
Mike Skinner has just clocked in with the 8th best at 180.317 to 49.912 second lap. So Wally Dallenbach is bumped, and Ricky Craven is now on the bubble. The defending pole winner here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is Jeff Gordon. He looks for his 4th pole for the Brickyard in a few moments.
And he was just 35th best at 50.833 seconds, 177.050 miles per hour. So Ricky Craven remains on the bubble. Dallenbach has been bumped.
Bill Weber is standing by with a man going for 4 poles, Jeff Gordon.
And Jeff Gordon was really hoping he wasn't going to need those sunglasses out here for the next 15 or 20 minutes, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind wearing them in the sun or shade, but yeah, I mean, we'd like to have a cloud. You know, we struggled a little bit earlier today, and it looks like we're struggling a little bit in turn 2 and turn 4, and you know, I'm going to work real hard to try to get those turns down. And these guys made some good adjustments, so I think we're going to be a lot better than we were.
Okay, I think you were 31st on the practice sheet. Can you elaborate on what the car is doing or not doing for you?
It won't go through turn 2 or turn 4. And those are the worst places on a track like this because it leads up to a real long straightaway. So if you don't get off of those 2 turns, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble down the straightaways also. But you know, we're going to work on those areas, and the car feels pretty good, just not going real fast. So we'll find out why. We tested good with this car. It's very similar to what we had in Pocono, and there's no reason why Snoopy shouldn't be able to help us out a little bit.
Good luck to both of you.
Thanks.
That's Jeff Gordon, and here's Jerry again.
All right, Mike Skinner, 49.912. Mike, slower than you would have liked to run, but taking a look at the front of the car, I think you're lucky to get that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, after I got out of the car and looked at that, Jerry, I was pretty pleased with the lap. We thought we could run in the high 50s or low 60s with a low Chevy, and when I come across the line, I didn't hear Larry. Usually if we sat on the pole, he tells me I did great or something, and I didn't hear anything. He says, I don't know what the lap was, but you're late. I'm like, wow, and he said 49.90 something. I said, I couldn't understand why it runs so slow because the car felt good. I lost a little bit in 3, I felt like, but other than that, the car, I hit my marks, and the car was real good. The engine run real good in the low Chevrolet, but I guess that fender there, when we got on the brakes, getting down in this corner right here, it happened earlier, but just bent it a little bit, but it killed it this time. It hurt the aerodynamics quite a bit.
Could you feel it hit when you hit the brakes in turn 1? You could feel the fender hit and actually buckle in front of the air dam as you were going in between turns 1 and 2?
Yeah, I felt it hit, but I didn't think it was near that bad. You know, you're just really trying to focus on hitting your marks, and getting back to the gas as quick as you can, and I just blocked it out and did the best I could, and it kind of explains what happened right there.
All right, Mike Skinner apparently lucky to get that qualifying lap in. Right now, he's 8th quickest.
And next up to qualify for the Brickyard 400 is Jerry Nadeau. He has turned in a 50.219 on the racetrack. Is Dale Earnhardt taking the green flag? Nadeau was 22nd quickest at 179.215, and so that bumps Ricky Craven, and Elliott Sadler is on the bubble, and Dale Earnhardt was fastest in practice.
I think he lost some time down in turn 1. I think just like all these guys appeared like he might have gotten in the corner. Yes, we can see just 8th or 9th best. Got in the corner just a little bit too hard.
You should tell him, Bay. Maybe he'll think you're smart.
Oh, yeah. I don't think... Oh, Dale getting really close to that wall. But it's helped a little bit as he moves up to about the 9th or 10th spot.
Well, they'd rather use up all that racetrack than get out of the gas pedal. As long as the straightaways are here, you need to be wide open coming off this corner.
Well, there's the checkered. Let's see how Dale Earnhardt did. Probably not a pole run, but where did he fall into the lineup? He goes down to the 8th best.
At 180.393 miles per hour. 49.891 seconds. Good lap run on.
Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip currently occupy the front row for the Brickyard 400. Is the 7th running of the Brickyard 400 from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can see it on ABC Sports. Here is what we have accomplished so far in Bud Pole qualifying, with a few more remaining. Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip currently occupy the front row for Saturday's event. Rudd, the only driver above 181 miles an hour. These top 25, the way it stands right now, and of course the top 25 when we're done, are locked into their positions.
And all these guys will have to either stand on this time or come back and requalify tomorrow. You see Davey Keith there in 33rd to just complete his qualifying run at 178.292 miles per hour.
Jerry Punch is with Dale Earnhardt.
Well, Dale, 49.891 seconds. Not what you had hoped to run, but the car looked like it moved up across the racetrack entering 1 down there. Were you having a little bit of a problem?
Yeah, a little on the tight side. I got in the corner hot like I did in practice, and when the car didn't turn, I knew it wasn't going to be in it, and it was a little tight off of 2, a little tight off of 3 and 4. So it was just luck of the draw today. We had a great race car, good shot at it, but just a little tight off. Feel sorry for him in the race. Got a good race car.
All right, he's smiling, and when he smiles that wide and thinks about what's going to happen on Saturday, we could be seeing a 3rd two-time Brickyard 400 winner. He won it here in '95.
Robbie Gordon will be the next to qualify.
As he says, as he told Bill Weber, well, there he's almost put the white wall on there, but as he told Bill Weber, he needed to get better. He was just 39th best in the practice, and we can see that he's a 3/4 of a second slower than the pole speed. That might be a little bit faster than he practiced. He goes down to 37th best, so Robbie Gordon very definitely will have to come back and try to find some speed tomorrow to make this Brickyard 400.
Robbie Gordon's only Brickyard 400 start was in '97. He does have 6 Indy 500 starts here at the Brickyard. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
And just a quick word from Jeffrey Bodine, 26th on the practice sheet. You'd take 25th or better right now, wouldn't you?
I'd probably take 26th, but yeah, with the sun coming out, you know, normally a late draw is pretty good, but today it might work against us. But, you know, our car's been running good. We made a little adjustment prior to coming out here, so hopefully it's the right adjustment, and we'll go out here and turn a good lap.
Okay, good luck to Jeffrey Bodine. Again, one of the guys that does not have a provisional, needs to get in on speed.
Well, from Robbie Gordon, we go to the familiar DuPont colors of Jeff Gordon, but not for the Brickyard 400. A special peanut-themed DuPont paint scheme is paying tribute to Charles Schultz, one of America's best-known cartoonists. Jeff Gordon has won the pole 3 times here at Indy in '95, '96, and last year.
As a matter of fact, I think they're celebrating 50 years with Snoopy or something. I think
Yes,
Schultz painted that cartoon for 50 years.
Yep. And speaking of years, Jeff Gordon is celebrating his 29th birthday tomorrow. Well, see how he fares here on his qualifying lap. Currently, the Todd Bodine qualified number 5 car is on the bubble. The checkered flag is coming out, and the computer BP may not even get in the top 25 here.
No, it's right at 25th. Let's see. As Jeff Gordon's qualifying run goes down, will it stop in time? No. He goes back to 27th at 50.351, 178.745 miles per hour.
Just a few more cars to qualify now. 3 more. We've got the number 27 car driven by Mike Bliss on the racetrack at the moment, as he tries to make his first Brickyard 400. Driver from Milwaukee, Oregon, who ran open wheel cars here in the Indianapolis area for many years before heading to NASCAR land.
Been a few years in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Won some races there. Drove for Jimmy Smith and won some races. The truck that Mike Wallace drives now. Also drove for Jack Rowdy for a season in the Excite truck.
They must be running these cars extremely soft, both front and rear, because this is a very, very smooth place. Yet we see the tailpipe spark once in a while, and so they're sensing just about every little bump on the racetrack.
The spring combinations, some of these guys are talking about, Ray, as you well know, are just unbelievable how soft they are running these cars. You can see the front bumper. Normally that thing would be 3 or 4 inches off the ground as the car goes down the straightaway. They're running the springs so soft, the wind pushes the car down and keeps that front bumper down close to the ground so no air goes under the car.
And the lower you get the car, the more aerodynamic horsepower you have available, so it helps the straightaway speeds. The car's probably 2 or 3 inches lower at the roof on the racetrack than it is rolling through inspection. You can see that the tailpipes on that car are just about dragging the ground. They're right in front of the left rear wheel.
Checkered flag drops for Mike Bliss. And did he get into the top 25?
The computer says that he should end up about 30th. We'll see how close that will be.
Just a little under 30th.
Boom, he goes down to the 32nd best, 50.441, 178.426 miles per hour.
We're running short of qualifiers at Indianapolis. To go here as we determine the Bud Pole for the Brickyard 400 on Saturday in the top 25 qualifiers. Well, the 01 car, the Bell South machine, driven by Ted Musgrave. Now watch him come off corner number 4. Watch the steering wheel. Look at him.
Oh, he's steering that thing for all he's worth because there's a real hard fence right off turn 4. And that hurt his qualifying run because he ended up 35th best at 50.458. Average speed was 178.366 miles per hour.
Well, both of the remaining qualifiers come from the Bodine family. As Ted Musgrave pulls into the pit area, Jeffrey Bodine, power team Chevy on the track and spins, coming off the 4th corner.
Coming down for the green flag, and he never touched anything, I don't think.
I believe he hit on the left side there.
I guess he did.
On the left front.
Yeah, the left front. I see some smoke. Looks like the tire might be. Wow.
And as I said, you know, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, this place is not very nice to race around.
Jeffrey Bodine looking for his 6th start in a Brickyard 400. Will take the car right back into Gasoline Alley after spinning and hitting the wall coming off corner number 4.
Ray, I guess as the racetrack, let's see if we can see Jeffrey come off the corner, and it just, about the time he turned the wheel, and there's that left front, as Ray talked about, slapping the wall. Ray, when this racetrack gets warm, it really does loosen up, doesn't it?
It really does, Benny. This is a strange place, and about 4 to 4:30, it'll start the speed will pick back up. I don't know if it's the angle on the sun in certain corners, but you can go from being tight early in the day at turn 4 especially to being extremely loose over there. Now, the last couple cars that we've seen have been extremely loose.
Well, another setback for Jeffrey Bodine. He is among those who does not have a provisional and therefore must get into the race on speed. And certainly the effort there coming off of corner number 4 does not help that situation at all. More on the Bodines from Bill.
Well, Brett Bodine was supposed to be the 4th car to go out and qualify. His car was pushed to the grid just a few moments ago. Damage still showing on the right-hand side from where he brushed the wall, or actually hit the wall, because in Indianapolis, you don't brush anything. He knocked in the right side of that car. They worked up until about 7 or 8 minutes ago, got the car through inspection. I had a brief conversation with Mike Hillman, his crew chief. He said the car is straight, but it's going to be very difficult for Brett to get a great lap here. They'd love to have a top 25, but he was 42nd in practice. We'll see what happens. Brett Bodine, the final qualifier today. Let's go to Jerry.
Well, this guy has basically owned this place. 3 poles, 2 wins, led almost 29% of the laps that you've run here over the years. But today, Jeff Gordon, it wasn't to be the lap better than you've run all day. 50.351, but not what you had hoped to have.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than we tested here. You know, a lot of guys have really picked up quite a bit of speed, but I don't know. You know, the track felt good this morning, the car felt good this morning, but the speed just wasn't there, and I'm not exactly sure. We looked at some segment times, and I just wasn't getting off of turn 2 very good. And I know I'm not getting through turn 4 very good. I'm just real loose through there, and, you know, it just seems like to get my car good everywhere else, I've got to be a little bit looser, which has been typical in the past here. Just doesn't seem to be working for us quite the way it has, you know, in past runs. But we're going to get it. You know, we're not where we want to be on the qualifying sheet, but I'm hoping with the way this car's reacting that it's going to be really good in traffic.
As your former crew chief, I want to go sit upstairs. This place very, very fickle. This time of the afternoon, very tough. The track gets very, very loose.
Oh yeah, this track is very dependent on you know, what the sun and what the clouds are doing. And when this track cools down, it gets very fast. So, you know, I drew a real late number today, and you know, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But looks like some of the guys that went out early definitely, you know, had the weather in their favor. But we still should be a lot closer up to the top than what we are. You know, there's some other Chevrolets up there, and we should be up there. And we ran so well at Pocono, we really thought that you know, that combination would work well here, and it just hasn't so far.
Good luck on Saturday.
All right, thanks.
Jeff Gordon, 2-time winner of the Brickyard 400. Not happy at all with his qualifying effort, but they hope to be able to work on it and get much more speed before Saturday.
Well, Brett Bodine needs more speed, too. He's a 51.159, a 175.922, 44th fastest overall. Ricky Rudd has won the pole for the 7th Brickyard 400 Saturday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, his 2nd pole of the year 2000. The other one was at Las Vegas. It's his first pole here at Indy. In fact, his first top 5 qualifying effort, his 26th career pole, and the 5th pole for Robert Yates in the year 2000. So we will be back to wrap things up as Bud Pole qualifying is over at Indianapolis. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Your blimp is hovering above with its camera focused on an event. You know you're going to get a unique view. Overhead today is the blimp Spirit of Goodyear, based near Akron, Ohio, the world headquarters for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Bud Pole qualifying is over. Ricky Rudd was the lucky one. An unfortunate one was Jeffrey Bodine spinning and hitting the wall coming off turn number 4. Here's Bill.
And Jeffrey Bodine is back down here in the garage, and they're looking at the left front. First of all, Jeffrey, what happened?
Just lost it coming off turn 4. I got pretty slippery out there, and we'd made some adjustments to the car, and I guess we were just a little too loose coming off that corner and got sideways, and you don't expect to spin out on your warm-up lap, but I did.
Obviously, you did a great job keeping the car from being totally demolished, but you do have some front-end damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, went around and hit the left front, and so we're going to change some A-frames and bang the fender out. Kind of like we used to do on the short tracks, just bang them out and keep going. But we don't think it hurt the car really bad, so that's good luck, because this is a good car for us. And, you know, we don't have a provisional, and we're trying to stand on the gas so we get in this show, and I guess sometimes these things happen.
It has certainly been a challenging season for you, to say the least. Do you feel the pressure coming here, Jeffrey, with no provisional to make a big race?
No, I really didn't feel any pressure. We had a really good test up here and really confident. Kind of like DW had said, he was confident coming here. We were too, that we were going to run well, and we'd run pretty good in practice. So, you know, going out there, I didn't feel like any extra pressure on me, and but it surprised me coming out that corner. The car just came around, and I wish I hadn't done that, but it did.
Very important lap for you tomorrow. Best of luck on Friday.
Thanks.
Bob?
Well, Jeffrey did not complete the lap, but 48 cars did complete their qualifying runs here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Saturday's Brickyard 400. Let's take a look at the results. As we told you, Ricky Rudd has his second pole of the year 2000. Darrell Waltrip has his first top 5 starts since 1997 here at Indy, 4th.
Seat 16 through 30 this afternoon. Ward Burton will lead that group. 25th, Todd Bodine in the 5 car was the last qualifier. From 26th on back, these cars will either have to stand on this time or requalify in tomorrow's qualifying. Ray, what do you think? Where do you think these guys are going to stand back into? I guess it depends on the weather, doesn't it?
It really does, Benny. Tomorrow, what the racetrack, how fast the racetrack is, these guys are going to have to decide on. But I would say that if you're in the top 30 right now, you should be safe.
Well, Rudd broke the track record. As a matter of fact, 14 broke the previous track record of 179.6. We'll talk with Ricky Rudd when we come back. Qualifying concluded, and the man of the day is Ricky Rudd, and Jerry Punch is with him.
Well, he's down here making the hat switch, getting all the hats put on, the Texaco hat, the Budweiser hat, the Bud Pole Award winner for the 7th annual Brickyard 400. And Ricky, outstanding effort. Congratulations on your second pole of the year.
Thank you, Jerry. I tell you, I owe it all these guys, Yates Racing, Mike McSwain, the engine shop at Yates, and all the guys on the 88 crew, Todd Parrott, those guys. This car was not planned to run here. The car that we were planning to run here got destroyed last week at Pocono, and Michael and Todd Parrott, all these guys got together and they talked about it, and hey, let's bring the backup car, but we need to go to work on it and do a little cutting and sawing here and there and a little work on the chassis. So really, I just got to thank all of Yates Racing all together for this pole today.
And a backup engine. I'm told you made an engine change right before qualifying. Doug Yates made a call. He was a little concerned, and still with a backup car and a backup engine, this team, it paid off.
Well, it really did. This wasn't the #1 choice on the qualifying motor. The good motor had a little oil in one of the spark plugs. Doug kept watching it each practice session, and it got worse and worse. He got afraid of it. He thought the thing might try to come apart when I was qualifying, so elected to put the backup qualifying motor in there, which was a little bit of horsepower short of the primary, but it still did its job. Even a Yates motor, a couple of horsepower off, is still a lot better than a lot of these guys.
Ricky Rudd, congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
Ricky Rudd, they were hoping to break the 180-mile-per-hour barrier. He broke the 181-mile-per-hour barrier with a new track record in Indianapolis. He is the pole sitter for the Brickyard 400. And how about the outside front row? Bill Weber?
Well, a very jovial atmosphere back here in the Kmart garage. Darrell Waltrip was going to talk to us, but he's too busy shaking hands. Oh, no. He cleared a path for us. That's it. Outstanding. You're starting outside the front row at Indy.
What did I tell you before I rolled off? I said, you know, the way these guys are going, I could end up on the pole. So,
and they said the way you're going, you could end up on the pole.
I had a good car, and I got most everything out of it. I'd like to go back and see if I could find that 400 that Ricky had that I didn't, but I can't complain. Man, I'm so happy to be up front, and the guys are going to give me a car that, you know, we start up front a few times this year, not often, but we're going to stay there this time. They're going to give me a good car. They're going to work on it real hard for me, and man, this is so much fun. Stevie and I just standing there and said, you know, this is the way it used to be. God, no wonder we used to.
I remember that.
Yeah, no wonder we used to think racing was so much fun, because this is really fun. And then the people up here, Bill, they just bring the best out in me. I know the people up here give you so much support. Come by and tell you you're going to be in the top 10. Man, I ain't been in the top 10 all year. Come by and tell you you're going to win a post. Man, I ain't won a post since '95. What's these people thinking? But they believe that, and you don't want to let them down. And so it was a big deal for all of us.
And then I think I heard you say you could win this thing on Saturday. So, no, like you said, you don't want to let them down.
Well, I honestly believe I can. I like this racetrack, and this car right here runs really good around this joint. And I just got a good feeling about Saturday. Took only 400 miles. I believe I can hold my breath that long. So I look forward to it. I think we're going to have a great race, and I think when the day's over with, people are going to leave here. All I've said all year long or any time is just leave here saying, man, old DW looked like he was having fun, and looked like he could have won the race if things had worked out a little differently for him. That would make me very proud.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Bill.
Darrell Waltrip. It'll be a big night in Owensboro this evening.
In his early days, he used to race a lot in the northern Kentucky and southern Indiana area. In his victory tour season, he comes to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and will start on the outside to the front row. Well, it's over, and it's been an exciting session, Jerry Punch.
Exactly, Bob. Congratulations to Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip, a couple of fast Fords on the front row. Now, the Ford fans are pretty excited about that, but you GM fans, take heart. I got to believe that the car behind me, which qualified third, a brand-new Pontiac Grand Prix for Bobby Labonte, is going to be a major factor come Saturday. Remember, Bobby Labonte has finished second 2 of the last 3 years here. And how about the guy sitting right over here to my left? The guy who won here in 1995, didn't have a good qualifying lap, but he was the fastest car on the racetrack all day long. Dale Earnhardt could be a third two-time winner come Saturday. Bill Weber?
Well, Jerry, 25 teams will sleep very well tonight. Their spots solidified in the Brickyard 400 on Sunday, but still a number of teams with a lot of questions that will have to be answered, and they will have to answer them in one lap. Jeffrey Bodine out of provisionals. Wreck coming to take the green, will have to make the field on speed tomorrow. And same story for Kyle Petty. And of course, his season on and off the track, well documented. Out of provisionals, has to make the field on speed. Teams with big decisions and then one big lap to run here on Friday. It's an emotional day at Indianapolis the day before the Brickyard 400. For some of these guys, it'll be a very emotional night.
And we'll be here with second round qualifying for the Brickyard 400 7th edition. Second round qualifying on ESPN2 at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. RPM tonight is 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and happy hour at 7:30. Saturday, the big day. RPM today, NASCAR today, special 1 hour edition noon on ESPN. The Brickyard 400s on ABC, and one of the IROC races at 4:30. There's racing tonight at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Power Stroke 200 for the trucks, and tomorrow night, the Busch Race. You keep it here for all of the auto racing action. After a break, ESPN News. Thanks for joining us here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rudd has won the pole. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of Go Network, go.com.